Oh, there we go. The wrong camera there for a second. I'm sure I got that right last time. Hey, good afternoon everybody. It's Mark from Visible Image and happy Saturday. I hope you're here and you can join me. I know there's a lot going on today. We have, in the UK, we have rugby on. Obviously big matches going on. So I can totally understand if you're watching the rugby. If you're not watching the rugby, then maybe a lot of you are at the NEC, which is our National Exhibition Centre in Birmingham, because they do also have a craft show on there as well this weekend. So, you know, I'm carrying on. I don't care if there's nobody watching or there's loads of you watching. So the more the merrier, but we're all here anyway. So I'll just say a few hellos to people. Oh, we have Rox. Hello, Rox. How are you? Rox is in Australia. Yes, you are in Australia. We have Patricia as well. So I'll let a few more of you join. We have Ellie as well. Don't forget, if you are on Facebook, I can't see your name because of privacy settings. So maybe just tag your name at the end there, and then I can give you a shout out. We have we have the regulars appearing. We have Handy Scandy, yes, and we have Hazel. Hiya, Hazel. So yeah, it's just great to be here on a Saturday afternoon. Not going to do anything too complicated. I'm actually going to try something that I don't think I've done before, which is I'm going to use an older product, which is our Fibres stencil, which is absolutely amazing. And then I'm also going to use, what else? I'm going to use the Little Ladybirds, which is a new release. And it's it's on pre-order at the moment, and you should be able to get your hands on it pretty soon. So I thought I would show you what I would do with it. I do have a lot of samples to show. Well, I'll say it's a lot. I've got some samples to show at the end as well from our design team, our amazing design team. So I hope you can join us all the way to the end and see what they've created as opposed to what I'm going to create. So what I'm going to create today is a one-layer card. So no glue, absolutely no glue involved at all. There's no matting and layering of a card to get those kind of layers that you want. I'm going to strip it all back to basics. So incredibly simple, but obviously to do that, to make it look as though you've got some layers, it's not as simple as it seems. It sounds simple, but it's not. I'll give a few more shout outs to people. We have Sandra, we have May from Norway, we have Ellie, oh, and no glitter today, though. There's absolutely no glitter. Yeah, sorry, Rox is saying no glitter. So yes, there will be no glitter today, Rox. I may use some glossy accents, so you'll forgive me for that. I think adding in some glossy accents would look really cool. So I'm just saying, I hope a few more people here. Yeah, well, I see that, and the whole point was, if you look to the thumbnail for the YouTube video, it was called Ladybird or Ladybug. Now, what do you say? I mean, I don't know. You see, in the UK, we're Ladybird, and I love that. I love Ladybird. It sounds so, but Ladybug sounds like a bug. You know what I mean? I know they are technically, I think they're part of the beetle family, but I think Ladybird sounds a lot nicer. I don't know. What do you think? That's the question. Of course, I was just like looking up, because the title was going to be Ladybird, Ladybird, as in the old like the old rhyme, the old children's nursery rhyme. But do you know what? It's not until you kind of like read that nursery rhyme out, it's not so cool for kids anymore. It's kind of a bit grim and gruesome. I suppose that's a lot of you know, those like old nursery rhymes going back years and years, like Ring a Ring a Roses. You know, I was saying to Helen the other day, you know, that's a great pocket full of posies. That's all to do with the plague, so we're not going to go down that route, because I think Ladybird, Ladybird, fly away home, your house is on fire, your children will burn. Now that's awful, isn't it? Isn't that awful? But hey, you know, let's not get rid of some of the old ones, because they sound great. I'm just rabbiting on here. Right, so I'd say a few more hellos. We have Michelle as well. We have Sandra. You know, it's great to see people here. So great, absolutely, really pleased. So let me just quickly show you the stamps and the stencils. Okay, so we have Why am I on that there? Oh, so don't forget to, I don't know why that hasn't moved. Don't forget to subscribe and obviously ring the bell for notifications. So please do. And I'll just go back to the overhead now. Camera's having a bit of fun today. Right, so this is our new little Ladybird. Slightly smaller set, but it's really cool. Really, really cool. Very useful. We have a very nice large Ladybird. We have a smaller one. And then we also have Appreciate the Little Things. And again, you know, it's still a good size Ladybird. That's great, that one. And that's great for your, you know, little ATCs as well. In fact, that would probably fit on an ATC, possibly. I'd have to measure it, but I think it probably would. But that's a great little set. Couple of stamps, nice sentiment. Perfect, that's all you need. Then to go with that, now, one of our best-selling stencils ever. This is Fibres. And I thought that kind of like works well with, possibly could be grasses. But it works well with so many things. It could be underwater, could be flames, waves. It's such a versatile stencil. So that is another great one. So I think now we'll make a start. Hazel saying Ladybird books have just sprung to mind. Yes, I do remember reading those as a child, a very long time ago. Right, so Helen is also going to be writing some comments as we go along. She's just returned from a trip out, so she will be joining us very shortly. So let's make a start. Now the first thing I want to do is I shall get a piece of card, which is going to be this piece here, and I think I'm going to stamp. Right, okay, so I'll get my stamping platform out and we'll make a start. So I'm going to do some stamping and clear embossing. Again, really, you know, really easy, not too complicated here. Just having some fun on a Saturday afternoon. So let's just work out where those magnets are going to go. Just make sure they're nice and in the right place here. I hate it when, you know, when sometimes when your card goes where you don't want it to go. Right, so I think we'll go with that. So on this here, I've got the set. I've put the sentiment on, and I've put the two of the small ladybirds. Now you've only got one ladybird in the set, so I've got two sets on the go here. The only reason I'm doing it this way is that when I'm stamping, I don't have to stamp this image twice. Do you know, in two separate occasions, I can do it all in one go. Obviously, you won't have that luxury to do that, but this is just for time saving, I think, more than anything else. So the ink I'm going to use today is, this is one closest to hand, is the VersaFine Clair. You could obviously use your normal VersaFine Onyx Black, but again, they're both pretty similar in colours, and they're great for stamping as well. So let me just ink these up. Oh, I do like these little sets. They're great. Okay, so let's ink that first. Place it down. Again, just give it a second there. Brand new stamps as well. I haven't used these ones before, so there we go. Brand new, out the packet. So that's pretty good. I want to go back in there just a little bit darker, because obviously you're going to clear emboss that as well. So we'll just go over that again, just to get a slightly darker colour. There we go. Isn't that gorgeous? Right, so that's the first part. Now I'm going to clear emboss those now. So just move my platform out of the way. And I shall get my piece of paper and some clear embossing powder. This is the Wow, for anyone who wants to know what kind of embossing powder this is. And it's got super fine detail on it, so it's very fine, so it's great for you know, if you want to keep your images nice and crisp. I think the finer the embossing powder, the better the finished result. So I shall just tap that away. And we'll move that out of the way. Okay, I'm just reading a few. Yeah, I mean, let's just say the like Michelle's saying that the Ladybug's in two different sizes. Yeah, it's great. I mean, you know, that kind of size of your thumb there. So it's not too small, but it's not too big either. We're just going to heat emboss these now. Still like doing this. Okay. Right, so we've got that going on so far. We currently don't have a background yet, but we will do. We will do. We're gonna do these parts first because I need to get these out of the way. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp the larger. I've got a plan in my head as to where we're going with this, so bear with me. So I'm going old school this time, and I'm using a clear block for this, and I'm going to stamp ink and stamp that somewhere around about there, I'm thinking. Yeah, so let me just do that. This is where things can go wrong because obviously I'm going old school here, so hopefully we'll do this without me dropping it. Sometimes that happens, and you know what it's like when you're crafting and you go ah. So we'll see now. I think we'll be okay. So I'm just going to change the angle so I get the right, should hold it as well. So without getting my head in the way. I'm doing this slightly upside down, but that's okay. And I think we're going to go round about there. Commit to it, and press down. And we shall also clear emboss this. And then we'll be able to create our background. I think we're happy with that there, and we'll take that off and we shall see. Oh, that's gorgeous. That's perfect. Exactly what we want there. Although the leg, I obviously didn't press a little bit hard there with the leg, but we're okay. We'll get away with that. I can always go back in with a pen. So again, doing things live, sometimes it never ever comes out the way you want it to. And I've already stamped this before, so I know it works perfectly. There we go. Right. So I'm just going to clear emboss this. Again, you know, it's not the end of the world. This is the worst thing that can happen is a piece of card, and you can always go back in and fix up any slight imperfections that you may have made. But I think that's part of the fun of creative, I think. Just going in, heat embossing this now. Okay. Now, do you see where I said about the leg there? Again, sometimes this happens, you know, if it ever goes very, very slightly wrong, just go back in there with your pen and just fix it. Honestly, sometimes I used to get annoyed with myself, you know, wanting perfection every single time you create something, but, you know, sometimes you just got to go with it. You know what your best card always is, as I always said before, the best card is your next one. So yeah, just keep on going. There. And we've fixed that. That's great. So the next thing we will need to do is we need to create a background. Now what I want to do is I want to protect these ladybirds or ladybugs. So I've already stamped out and just cut out some masks. Again, you can use post-it notes, but this is the like masking sheets that you can get hold of. They're really easy. They you know, you can just stamp on them and then cut them out and then reuse them again and again. So all I'm doing is just covering up the ladybird. Why did I say butterfly? Right, just try and get it straight, Mark. You want to just cover up this because I want to colour those ladybirds in afterwards. So I'm just going to protect it there. And I have two others. One for this one. So I did say that sometimes, you know, you need to just kind of go with the flow, and you know, a one layer card can be as, you know, simple as you want it to be, or as intricate as you want it to be. And I would call this is, I would say it's more of a clean and simple card, but there's still elements to it that make it kind of, you know, like, oh, that's cool, that is a great idea. So we've got this stuck down and we're ready for the next section. We need to create our background now. Now the next thing I'm going to do is, what else? Oh, I know what I need. So I'm going to bring in my stencil. I didn't bring in my stencil. Where did I put my stencil? Aha. Right, so this is my stencil. And I'm going to go over the top of this with the stencil. So it's going to be going over the top of it like that. But the other thing I want to do is I want to create a bit of a border around the card. So what I'm going to do is I've got some, let me just move that camera in a little bit to show. So I've got some, this is low tack tape, and I'm just going to tape down, create my own kind of faux border around the card before I use the stencil. So what I'm going is I've just marked kind of 2 centimeters around the card. I'm going to go around that with my low tack masking tape. And we'll go again. Try and keep it kind of 2 centimeters all the way around. Your border will look nice and crisp. So just going around the edge there. That was not, does that look straight to you? That does not look straight, does it, Mark? It's supposed to be 2 centimeters, right. It still didn't look straight, but I'm going to measure it now. Excuse me whilst I measure to make sure I got it right. So, did I have 2 centimeters there? Do you know what? It's a little bit past 2 centimeters. I have to go by eye now. Okay, that's fine. And so I'm just going over the edge there. So this will give us a nice crisp border around the card. So just again, this is doing a full-on one layer, and you know, staying away from glitter, staying away from black card as well. So it's all going to be one layer. Okay, so we've gone around that as a border. And next thing we need to do is we'll bring in our stencil, and I'm going to put that over the top, and I'm just going to take that down as well, and then we'll do some blending through that stencil. Yeah, I think that looks great. So I'm just going to stick that down. Show you some more tape here. So I'm just reading some of the comments there. Imperfection is, embrace imperfection. Brock's the same, embrace imperfection. Well, imperfection is beauty, isn't it? You know, sometimes you can be too perfect, and you know, like when you look at people's faces, they're never symmetrical. So, and if you've ever tried to make your face look symmetrical, it looks kind of strange. So you need to try it sometimes. You know, where you half your face in the mirror. Yeah, I'm just sticking these things down because I don't want them to move around whilst I'm blending through my stencil. Right, now we're getting somewhere. So once this is all taped down, you're good to go with the next part then. I'm all fingers and thumbs today, I don't know why. Right, okay. And my things aren't sticking. Right, okay, no problem. We're going to go with the next part. So I've got, what have we got? I've got Twisted Citron, which is lovely bright green, and I'm just using my blending brush as well. So I'll just kind of hold it as I'm going, and I'm just going to blend those colours through there. This is looking great. I love this colour. So it's really, it's a lovely green. It's not too dark, but it's a nice kind of fresh green. And I thought it would work well with the well, once I colour in the Ladybirds, the green will work well against the red there. So that was my kind of logic behind my thinking. So we're just going over this now, just filling in those details a little bit more. You can go as dark as you want. Normally I try and go darker on the edges and then kind of blend it to a lighter in the center, but this will still look cool no matter which way you do it. So we just add in some of that colour there. Right, okay. And I think we're done. I shall have a quick sneaky peek and we'll have a look. Oh yes, I think we'll do a little bit more just there. Always best to check your work and see if you're happy with that. Okay, I think we'll do that. So just leave the camera out a second. So now we have our background. Now there's only one thing I need to do as well is, if I get a pen, and what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to place a tiny dot in the corners there. Now the reason is, once I take the tape off, I can be able to join those dots up with a ruler and we'll have a nice sharp border. So I'm just going to peel this off gently. You know, sometimes even low tack tape can peel your work off, so always good to be careful. So just take it easy. Now you can probably see what I've done there. I've actually, the way I've created the border is I've done the border so that the Ladybird is off the border, and I think that looks really cool. It's kind of like, it gives it an added dimension of depth. So just taking that away. Oh, Handyscan is saying, no, I know I'm late to cover it, but we call them ladybugs in the air. So I agree with you though. Ladybird is a sweeter name. Yeah, I totally agree. Ladybird is a sweeter name. I'm not understanding how we called it Ladybird and you called it Ladybug. I'm not really sure what the difference was or when the difference happened. Okay, so the only thing I want to do now is I just want to draw a line around the edge there to give it that sharp edge, and then we can remove the masks and we should have our white ladybirds. So let me just draw that now. I've got a ruler and I'm just using one of my micron pens. Obviously these are fine liner pigment pens, so if I'm careful and not make a mess. So just line it up there so you're happy. And obviously doing it beforehand is that you don't want to draw through the ladybird at all, but obviously with the mask on it doesn't matter because I'm still protecting my work. So the ladybird should be over on the outside of that. Okay. So just going around. So I had this idea in my head when I wanted to do a single layered card, because you know we do multiple layers all the time, don't we? And masks, and it's nice to be able to kind of like, you know, what is the bare minimum you can create a card, you know? So I'm just going around that, just lining up those dots that I did before I pulled the tape off. There we go, nearly there. there was, you know, I think when you're creating you know, a one layer card, there's a little bit of thought to go into it as to how you want to achieve it, whether you want to go for those kind of like faux layers, and it's nice to do that if you can. So we have our border, and now we need to take off the masks. So we just gently take those masks, and I want to reuse those masks as well. They're good to put back into your set as well. So if you've cut them out, don't throw them away, because you can use these again and again. So they're great to use. So we'll stick that back down. Just see how the Ladybird's lovely and white there now. I mean, this is a great way of showing you, you know, how you can do masking as well. See, that looks good, doesn't it? It's getting there. So we'll just take the next one off. I was challenging myself, you know, obviously I was wanting to do a, you know, a demonstration today for you, but I was also wanting to try and challenge myself as to like doing something that I personally haven't done before, so I didn't know whether I could possibly do it. So yeah, that's as far as it goes in terms of a single layer card. Obviously now I want to colour in the Ladybirds, and then we'll add a little bit more shading on those Ladybirds to give them, give them some depth to them as well. You don't have to do a lot. So I've got some, obviously, you know, you can use your tri-blend pens, your Spectrum Noir pens, or your kind of, these are graphite. See, I've got a few different brands of pens. I don't have a, you know, I don't have a favourite. I just, whatever basically works. I know lots of you may have your Copics if you're into your colouring. Copics are great pens. They are like, I would probably call them like the Rolls Royce of pens. But, you know, for kind of general kind of colouring, you know, value for money, these are great. So I'm just going to go back in. I'm going to just do some colouring now on these images. 5250, that's a nice colour. Right, okay, we'll go in with that. It's red. So I'm just going to spend a minute or two just colouring these in. Again, going with a single colour, this is how you can achieve the kind of look that you want. Go in with that colour, and then you can go back in with a darker colour on the edges as well. Again, this is one single layer card, and I think it's going to look quite effective. The only thing you're also going to need is, I do have a Posca pen or a white pen, so that will be just done to give it those sort of like reflective highlights that you may find on Ladybirds, or Ladybugs I should say. So we're starting to get some of that lovely colour coming through now, and I think that works well against the green, don't you think? I'm just reading some of the comments there. Thank you very much, everybody, for your kind comments. You know, sometimes we forget, you know, I said this last time, that it's great to be arty and creating stuff, but, you know, it's even better when you can give it to somebody, you know, and there's got to be a reason behind it. So sometimes, you know, doing a complete card, that means something to somebody as well, you know. So that's great. You know, and you should always appreciate the little things people do for you. It makes all the difference in the world. Okay. I thought I'd colour in the biggest one first. And, you know, this is just one single colour. So let's just colour these in as well. I should be quick on these ones. Sometimes I ask myself whether I should be looking at a picture of a ladybird for the colour, but, you know, I think red is I think this is supposed to be the most common ladybird or ladybug. Technically it's got 7 spots. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They call it the 7-spotted ladybird, I think. But technically those bits are kind of like split in two when the wings open up. But they call it the 7-spotted ladybird. I know. Useless information for a Saturday afternoon. But yeah. I know. Ellie's saying about how sometimes simple cards aren't as simple to create. Yeah, you're right. If you want to make simple cards effective, there's the clean and simple can be as complicated as doing kind of mixed media. I do like doing both. I don't have a right. So we've got one single colour there at the moment. Now I probably will go in now with a slightly darker one and just blend the two in just to give it a little bit more depth on one side. Again, you don't have to be amazing colourist, as they say. So I'm just going in with a slightly darker colour there on this side. In fact, I'm not being that careful. A couple of pens and you can create something that looks pretty cool. I'm just going with a lighter colour again. Just pulling some of that colour out. I know there's people who are absolutely amazing at colouring in. I can get away with doing, I do like colouring in, but there are people who are, absolute amazing, and I don't class myself as being ultra amazing, but I know what I think looks right. So just go a little bit darker there. The thing is, you can get away with just a little bit of shade in there. You don't have to do too much, and it'll look really cool. And this is the relaxing time. I think this is when you can relax and just have a bit of fun with your colouring. Just pulling some of that colour to the centre there. I mean, it's hard to tell sometimes on the camera about the depth that I'm going to on here, but I think I'm leaving the little ones. I don't think that's going to make much difference. I'll tell you what does make the difference is that when you go in with maybe a Posca pen, or if you've got your Jelly Roll pens, they're also absolutely amazing. You don't have to do an awful lot. So let me just get a piece of card. You can see what I'm doing. Make sure I've got that pen going all right. So I think we just go around the edge there. Just go over that there. Just for a little bit of highlighting there on your Ladybird. Probably do a little bit more there as well. Again, if you're not too sure about what you're doing with it, sometimes you really can't go wrong, and you can add as much lighting as you want to your project. Because with a bigger one, I think I'm going to use a slightly larger pen. As long as sometimes these pens blob, so it's going to be. Oh, I can't trust myself with that pen. Right. Okay. So I'm just going to go in there and just highlight some of those details around there as well. Now you can go back in afterwards and do some more detail. Now the other thing I want to do is you want to add some more shading. Now the pens I would probably use, we have got pens have we got? Right. So I've got some more Spectrum Noir pens. These are like shades of grey. Probably the best colours to use. Like a grey blend. So I just want to go back in there now with my grey, and we'll start to add a little bit more shading on these Ladybirds. So what colour is this one here? This is the dark one. Start with a light. just going around the bottom of that there. Just a little bit on the edge there. Sometimes as well, if you're not sure about your blending, just go back in there with a suitable pen and just take the sharpness off the edge of that there as well. Sometimes that helps. And you can go back in again, a little bit darker next time. Very close to the edge there now, a bit darker. And you shouldn't be too worried, because when you start doing this, when you start off, you think, oh, it's too dark or that, but it does, obviously, when the alcohol dries, it does come out a lot lighter. So we're starting to see kind of a little bit of depth there, a faux depth on that as well. Looks nice. Do the same again. And you just want it to look as though that, you know, you've got a little bit more, there's more layers than you've really got on this card. You don't, and just be careful, just be kind of remember where your lighting's coming from as well. So obviously my lighting's kind of coming down a bit there, so you know, as long as you're kind of shading one side of it, rather than if you go all the way around it, it kind of stands out a bit too much. What you're trying to achieve is shadow from one part of the image. If you go all the way around it, it kind of gives a bit of a false kind of halo around it, and you don't want that on your project. So I'm just going around where I think there's going to be some shadow. So just going around a little bit darker. Just keep on going in and getting darker until you get that darkness that you're looking for. Yeah, I think we're starting to get there now. Again, I'm just trying to really, for myself, is to do something, you know, definitely out of my own comfort zone. Yeah. The other thing doesn't quite like. Sometimes when you go. Yeah, I think we're. No, does it look like more than one layer now? Just people are asking, but so yes, it's totally flat. One other thing you can do as well is to just add for your depth of layer. Is if you go get your pen, get one of your. I think I'll use a light colour to start off with. And we just get a ruler again, and if we, on the bottom half of your mat there, if you draw a very slight, in fact I'll do it from the other side so you can see. So I'm gonna put the ruler against the black line there, and I'm just gonna use one of the lightest greys here, very kind of, it's like an ice grey, it's a pale grey, and all you need to do, just kind of go down there. I can't really see past there, right, okay. Now it's hard to see on the camera there, but I will go back in again, darker. Let's see if we can bring that in a little bit closer. So you can start to see that you're adding that extra element of depth there. Now, again, if anything ever goes wrong, especially when you're using alcohol markers, I always use one of these blenders if I think, oh, the line's a bit too harsh, it's a bit too hard. So just go back in there, wet that off, and that will soften when it dries. So that's the way to go there. So, you know, I think that looks. I'll probably have a play around afterwards. Maybe when it's dry. In fact, I could do a little bit more now because I can. And we're doing well for timing as well. I must admit, nothing too hard today. Just fun. Just keep on going back in there, and then going back in with a lighter colour until you achieve that look you're going for as well. And then blend that out. Using the blender really does soften that colour. So you can go back in as much as you want there. I might do a little bit more because I'm thinking that the Ladybird is going to have, it's got that dome look, hasn't it? It's got the dome on it, so that shading is going to be a little bit lower. So try that a little bit darker around there. Whoops. So I shall go back in with my lighter colour. And then use my blender just to blend that out, to soften that off. And as that's drying, that's gonna start to give it that lovely kind of shadow that you're looking for. How does that look? Well, I'm glad that you can see some depth. You know, I think I was trying to achieve that. So if that's worked, then that's even better. Sorry, I'm on the floor here picking up a pen lid. I don't know about you, but every time I'm using alcohol pens, my lids are always going straight on the floor. So there we go. Right. Do you know what? I think I'm kind of like pretty much done for today. Again, a one layer card. And I think, oh, I was going to use glossy accents, wasn't I? But, do you know, I'm not going to have you watch me do glossy accents. In fact, no, I will. Let's get some glossy accents. Oh, just why am I shaking that? I don't want to shake it, Mark. Right. I think a glossy accent. I did say I was going to do one more thing. So, a little bit of glossy accents, I think. And that will finish that off. The glossy accents will really brighten up the your reds as well, your images, so that's going to look great. So just going over that, and that will also, because the Posca pens are acrylic, I think that softens the white as well, so that looks really nice. And this will then make your card really stand out. Obviously with that glossiness to it as well. That's going to look amazing. And people will wonder how it was all done with one layer. So I like that. Let's finish this off. I did promise you I'd finish your card, so we'll get this done now. Glossy accents are not that hard to put on. Now there are a few different other brands as well. I mean, you don't have to use the Ranger ones, but these are the ones I've got, and I do like the nozzle on these ones as well. Now if you want to make your card a little bit different, I know Ranger's got these, they've got like a crackle one, so you could have a crackle, that would look really different on your Ladybirds as well. So I'm just reading a few of the comments here as well, so that's nice. Helen saying that they look good with gloss. Thank you, Helen. They do. I'm glad I did that now. I'm glad I decided that. So I've stayed away from black card today, and I've kind of made the decision to go a one layer card. So how do people do their glossy accents? I kind of quite often go around the outside and then colour in do the inside. It kind of like creates a dam. So I find that sometimes easier. It's annoying sometimes when you get a bubble. You know, sometimes you got a bubble, so you got to try and blow it out. Okay. And don't the Ladybird shells? They're really they're like glass, aren't they? They're so shiny. So this will be absolutely perfect. We're getting there now. Nearly done. I've got some lovely samples as well to show from the design team, so I will show those afterwards. Again, the design team always coming up trumps with absolutely amazing projects. So I mean, this I would call quite a simple one to do, but the design team can, you know, they've done some absolutely stunning work and using different elements as well. So that's great. I do like that as well. Right, I think we're done. I shall let that dry now, but I will show you it a little bit closer up. Right, so we have this. Again, once that's dry, oh, there you can, I mean, look how cool that's going to be. That's going to dry like glass. So, and that is one layer. I mean, obviously you can go around that again on the bottom side if you want that. I would probably go a little bit darker on the bottom there, just to give it that faux depth again. And that's going to look amazing. Maybe on the other side as well. If you do two sides, you're going to make that look three-dimensional. So again, I appreciate the little things. It's a small set, but lots to do. You can do lots with it. So that is mine. I'll put this on one side for now, and I will show you that after. Show you some of the amazing design team samples. Let me just get them for you. So we have. Let me just move these out of the way. So that was mine. And let's just move that back into. Oh, we'll go. We'll stay there. Let's move that out of the way. Now, the first one I have is from Eileen. Again, there's a couple of different layers there, but I think that's gorgeous. Very, very contemporary, very different, and also she's got a shimmer on the Ladybird there, and it's different to have the Ladybird as white. Do you know what I remember? I'm sure there are white or the yellow ones. Who was seeing those kind of Ladybirds? I like the red ones, but the yellow ones. And I'm sure when I was in school, we had this notion that the yellow Ladybirds were poisonous, but I'm sure that is that's just a complete and utter myth or a lie. But that's what we used to think. I'm sure we used to see yellow Ladybirds, or maybe there were some white ones as well. But I'm sure the yellow ones, when I was in the primary school, we said that they were poisonous, and they probably weren't. So that's that. Again, another one again from Eileen. She's used the fibre stencil again, but in different colours. So that's lovely as well. And that's just all one single layer. Whereas I masked that kind of off, she's just gone straight through it, and I think that looks really nice. So what else do we have here? Oh, I like this one. This one is from Leanne. Isn't that lovely? So she's used the Ladybirds to go all the way around. We have our new breakout stencil in the background there as well. And she's used Ladybirds to go all the way around that. I think that looks absolutely stunning. So I'm not sure what kind of. I think she must have possibly used some kind of platform to make sure to get them round in a circle like that. But that's stunning. I do like that. And again, the Ladybird on top there. She's got that depth to going on there as well. That's good. I like the colours on there as well. It's gorgeous. Then we have another one which is completely different again, and this one's from Jill Sansom. This is gorgeous. So what Jill's used here is she's created the Ladybird background, and she's used some stamps from our stamp set called Transmission Glitch. Absolutely great stamp set. I will be using that at some point. I promised myself that I'm going to start using lots of stamps that I have personally not used in a demonstration. So I will show you how to use some of the background. We might have a background session where showing you how to do some of the cool backgrounds using the stamps as well. But this is gorgeous. Again, she's used glossy accents on there as well. And so she's created the background, white embossing powder, and used some of the background stamps for that from the transmission glitch. She's obviously cut out the ladybirds, simple to cut out, not complicated. There's some lovely threads going on behind there as well. And she's got appreciate the little things. That's a stunning card. That's gorgeous, that is. The next card we have is from Jane. Again, another stunning one. She has used the daisy stencil. We have a daisy stencil, so she's used that to good effect with the ladybirds there. There's a few different layers going on with this, but I think it looks absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, again, simple. How stunning are the red ladybirds against another colour? I think that looks amazing. And the last one we have is from Linda. Now Linda has used she's used our stencil as well. That's the daisy stencil. So she's used that daisy stencil the same as this one, but totally different ways. Do you see how different that one stencil looks? That looks amazing. So gorgeous there. So again, the bright, and that's glossy accented as well. I mean, doesn't it just lend itself to doing that? You're going to be a little bit decoupaged up there, but that looks amazing. I think that's stunning. So again, this bright yellows against the red, gorgeous. So that is our little Saturday afternoon make our one layered card. So let me just turn the camera to the front again. I'll just say. So thank you for everybody. Nothing too complicated. I wanted to get in. I will be doing some more demonstrations, especially with the new stamps that are coming out very shortly. Do pre-order them now. They are available to pre-order. You haven't got to wait very long, but hopefully you're going to be brimming over the top with full of ideas that you can do with these as well. And great price point as well. So do check them out, and also check out maybe a few of our other releases the last couple of months. Again, truly amazing stamps. Want to say a few hellos to everybody. Shout outs, anybody I haven't seen. People on Facebook saying, Fabs samples, yeah, that's great. May is saying thank you. Yeah, well, thank you. We've got Carol here as well saying hi, Carol. Yeah, we have Pauline Straker. Thank you. Yeah, it's nice to have you here this afternoon. I know lots of you are watching rugby, and or maybe you're not. So you're watching me instead. So great. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Have a look on the website. I'm sure there's some amazing stuff. Samples, never mind the actual products, but look at some of the samples as well. That'll give you inspiration for what you can do with our stamps. So thank you very much, and I shall see you on Tuesday. I'm going to be here again on Tuesday doing a live. I've still got that the video that I haven't edited yet for the cat. Where did I put my cat? Anyway, my cat is somewhere. I don't know where my cat's card's gone, but it's not gone. I've got a cat card coming out as well. The cats are now back in stock, so feel free to have a look at that Loving Feline. I think it's nice playing words there. Thank you, Helen. But yeah, that's amazing. So have a nice weekend, everybody. Take care, and I shall see you on Tuesday. So thank you very much.